Have you ever wondered why most men only realize the most important truths about life, love, and themselves after it's already too late? Think about it. Why do so many men discover what really matters only when they're old, bitter, divorced, or lying awake at night replaying the mistakes of their past? And here's the even sharper question. Are you willing to face the truths that might hurt your feelings today, so you don't have to regret them tomorrow? Because what I'm about to share with you are 7 lessons men learn far too late in life. And if you can understand these lessons now, while you still have time to apply them, they won't just save you years of pain. They might just transform your relationships, your sense of purpose, and your entire love life. But before we dive into them, let me say this. If you're serious about becoming the kind of man who doesn't just chase pleasure, but actually earns respect, attraction, and peace of mind, then subscribe to this channel, The Untroubled Stone. Hit that like button, and more importantly, stay until the very end of this video, because one of these lessons in particular will change the way you see women, relationships, and your own sense of value forever. Now let's begin. Lesson 1. Time is your most precious currency. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think." Most men don't truly believe this. They live as if tomorrow is guaranteed, as if they can waste their 20s, their 30s, even their 40s on meaningless distractions, shallow relationships, and cheap dopamine, and still somehow come out ahead. But here's the brutal truth. Time is your most precious currency. Every hour you spend chasing validation, scrolling endlessly, or tolerating toxic people is an hour you never get back. Let me tell you a story. A friend of mine, we'll call him David, spent most of his younger years living for parties, hookups, and whatever felt good in the moment. He thought being wanted by women meant he was successful. But now in his 40s, divorced and exhausted, he admits something painful. The time he wasted can never be returned. Here's the lesson. You will either invest your time in building discipline, skills, and meaningful connections, or you will spend it on cheap thrills that leave you empty. Women, opportunities, and respect naturally flow to men who value their time. Why? Because people subconsciously sense when you're not desperate for attention. Your focus itself becomes magnetic. So let me ask you, how much of your time today did you give to things that won't matter 10 years from now? Lesson 2. Emotions are messages, not commands. One of Marcus Aurelius's sharpest insights was this: you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength. Most men never learn this until it's too late. They confuse their emotions with commands. If they feel anger, they explode. If they feel desire, they chase without thinking. If they feel sadness, they collapse. But here's the Stoic truth. Your emotions are signals, not orders. Imagine a man who gets ghosted by a woman he thought really liked him. The signal he feels is pain, maybe even humiliation. The mistake most men make? They chase harder, beg for closure, or lash out in anger. All because they think the emotion of loss demands a reaction. But the high-value man? He acknowledges the emotion, yes. This hurts, but he doesn't let it dictate his behavior. He translates the message. This pain is showing me I was too attached to someone I didn't truly know yet. And then he adjusts quietly and powerfully. Women respect men who feel emotions but aren't ruled by them. Why? Because stability is rare and it signals strength. If you don't learn this lesson, you'll waste decades being a slave to every emotional storm. If you do learn it, you'll develop an aura of calm that makes people, especially women, gravitate toward you. Lesson 3. Most people don't care about your struggles. Marcus Aurelius said, when you wake up in the morning, tell yourself, the people I deal with today will be meddling, ungrateful, arrogant, dishonest, jealous, and surly. Read that again. Over 2,000 years ago, he already knew the truth. Most people don't care about your struggles. And yet many men spend their lives hoping the world will applaud them, or that women will love them simply because they're good guys. They wait for recognition that never comes. Here's the cold lesson. Nobody is coming to save you. Not society, not your friends, not even the woman you love. This doesn't mean people can't care. It just means you cannot depend on their care as fuel. Because if you do, you'll always feel betrayed. True strength comes when you build your life not on the shaky foundation of others' validation, but on the solid ground of self-respect. Think of the men who complain endlessly that women don't see their value. The truth is, value isn't announced, it's demonstrated. And only you can do that. Lesson 4. Desire without discipline is a curse. Marcus Aurelius said, "It is not death that a man should fear, but he should fear never beginning to live." And here's where many men fail. They confuse desire with destiny. They want wealth, respect, love, and freedom, but they never build the discipline required to actually achieve it. Desire without discipline is a curse because it keeps you constantly wanting, but never satisfied. I once knew a man who dreamed of starting his own business. He talked about it for years. He wanted freedom, money, and respect, but he never saved, never learned, never sacrificed. Now in his 50s, he still talks about someday while working a job he hates. Here's the reality. Desire is cheap. Discipline is rare. And women know this too. That's why they are more drawn to men who consistently execute, even in small ways, rather than men who talk big but never deliver. The Stoic man doesn't just dream, he disciplines himself. And through discipline, he earns the life he desires. Lesson 5. Not everyone you love is meant to stay. This one stings. Marcus Aurelius reminds us, when you kiss your child goodnight, whisper to yourself, tomorrow he may die. What's the point of this harsh reminder? That nothing and no one is guaranteed to stay. Most men learn this too late. They cling desperately to relationships long after they've rotted, thinking love means holding on forever. But in reality, life teaches us this brutal truth. Not everyone you love is meant to stay. Some women are only meant to teach you lessons. Some friends are only meant to walk with you for a chapter. Some family members may even betray you. The problem isn't that people leave. The problem is when you refuse to accept it. Clinging leads to bitterness. Acceptance leads to peace. And here's the paradox. When women sense that you don't need them to complete you, but rather choose them out of strength, that's when they're most likely to stay. Lesson 6. Comfort is the enemy of growth. Marcus Aurelius said, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." But here's what most men do. They avoid discomfort at all costs. They avoid the hard workout, the difficult conversation, the painful truth. And so, year after year, they become weaker, softer, less alive. The reality? Comfort is the enemy of growth. You will never become the man you're capable of being. If you're addicted to easy paths, the woman you want, the respect you crave, the life you dream of, it all exists on the other side of discomfort. Think about it. Every transformation in history, every great leader, every man who left a mark, all of them were forged in hardship. If you wait until life forces pain on you, it will break you. But if you choose your discomfort, discipline, training, honesty, it will build you. Lesson 7. Your legacy is built daily. Finally, Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one." Most men realize too late that their life wasn't about the big moments, but the daily choices. Your legacy isn't something you suddenly create when you're old. It's what you're building right now, in the tiny decisions you make every day, the way you treat strangers, the way you handle rejection, the way you spend your mornings. These things are shaping how people remember you, how women respect you, and how much peace you'll feel when you're alone. Ask yourself, if you died tomorrow, what would your legacy be? A man who talked but never acted? Or a man who lived with principle, courage, and presence? These are the 7 lessons most men only learn when it's already too late. They might sting, they might hurt your feelings, but they are also the gateway to freedom, respect, attraction, and a life without regret. Time is your most precious currency. Emotions are signals, not commands. Most people don't care about your struggles. Desire without discipline is a curse. Not everyone you love is meant to stay. Comfort is the enemy of growth, and your legacy is being written right now. If you can accept these truths today, not tomorrow, not years from now, you will separate yourself from the majority of men who live blind. And you will walk the path of a stoic, steady, attractive, and unshakable. With that said, thanks for watching, and until next time.